Hi, my name is Anneke Van Giersbergen from The Gentle Storm. We are in Paris, I'm so happy. We just made an album called The Diary and you are watching Morow. Well, actually it was this whole thing is like a train of coincidences, you know. But it started with me emailing him about something random, something else. After like a few years of, like, we kept in contact, but not like very much. And then I saw a picture on the internet and I emailed him about it. And I said, actually while I was typing, I thought maybe perhaps it's a nice idea to do something together. So I typed in the bottom of my mail, like, maybe we should do something together again, because it's a long time ago. And then he said, yeah, coincidentally I'm working on some songs, maybe you like them, maybe we can start from here. And I listened to, of course, fantastic songs. That he made like some demos, like really basic, with only some string sounds. But the melodies and the ideas and the atmosphere was already so cool. So nice that I said, yeah, let's do this. So then we started working together on like what we didn't know was going to be a double album, you know. The story is about two people in the 17th century in Holland, which was the Dutch Golden Age. So there was lots going on, and the country was booming. Because there was we started sailing across the seas, and we I don't know what it was, a bit of an import-export thing, but it was we came for the first time. The Dutch came into different countries, and we learned about cultures, music, arts. And everything, all that came back to Holland. So like everything was new those days. And the story is about two people. She is at home, they're two lovers, and he is out at sea for 2.5 years sailing for this company, the VOC. And they write letters to each other. So the whole thing is like 10 songs. The 10 songs are 10 letters that they write to one another. And so that's it. So that's life in the 17th century. It's all about love, of course, and longing, and but also daily life. There's a song about Amsterdam and how she loves living in Amsterdam. And there's a song about India, because he's traveling to India to get, you know, like food and herbs and fabrics, and he's, you know, telling her about that. So there's all sorts of different atmospheres on the album. And the thing is, in those days, we didn't have WhatsApp, so we didn't have, you know, we couldn't send a message instantly. The letters they wrote to each other usually took like a half year to reach the other person. So that's the beauty of the whole story, is that they write to each other. But in the meantime, everything could have happened. Like he writes one day, I was in a storm. But I survived. But he could very well not survive. So the thing is that what we do, like, we have the same feelings now. We are the same people now than back then. But it's just so easy to communicate. And in those days, yeah, things were more intense because life was a bit more difficult, you know, in a certain way. It's a long story, sorry. But so that was the story. That's what the story is about. And the whole thing is that the teller of the story, find a journal, a diary, in an attic in Amsterdam, in Holland, and I open it up and there's letters falling out. And those 10 letters, that form the base of the story. Well, Ian had this idea from the very, very first moment. He really wanted to make like a double album with two very different atmospheres. So a bit more heavy or cinematic, if you will, and a bit more folky. Because when he started to write a new album, and these new songs, he didn't know exactly where. He had ideas for songs, but he didn't know where to take them. So he asked his audience, and his audience says, a lot of people says, I want a heavy album or a bit more intense, and a lot of people said, I want something folky kind of. And then he immediately said, okay, then I'll make both, because I can make an album heavy with folk influences or the other way around. But that's been done, of course. And he found a good challenge in making them two different albums with the same songs, and that worked out fantastically, because they are so different, but they are similar because of lyrics and melodies, and the songs are the same, and yet it's such a different vibe. So that became very interesting and cool to work on.
But you had to record the voice for the two versions from the start.
Yeah, because what we did in the studio is I came in and on one day I did two songs, which is 2 times 2 songs. So I did first the softer version and then the heavier version of a particular song. And then at first we thought, okay, we can keep some vocals. For instance, the background vocals or the choruses. We can just paste them into, for instance, the heavy version of the same song. But when we did that, it was really ridiculous. It didn't sound like anything, because the atmosphere was so different, and it all came down to performance more than singing loud or soft or whatever. That was just so different that I sang every little thing again, with a different attitude and a different, how do you say, like a different mood. So that was interesting, because you can sing loud on the heavy stuff and you can sing soft on the softer stuff, but it was just not that simple. And so even the slightest harmonics and everything we did again.
Safe within, deep inside this heart of mine, I dream will come alive. Spread your arms out open wide.
Ian played a lot. He of course did the guitars and everything, but there are multiple instrumentalists, of course, on the album, and especially on the Gentle album. There's, you wouldn't say, but there's like more than 40 instruments on the Gentle album. The Storm album, however, is a bit more heavy, but it has less instrumentalists. So, and the people that play on that are basically the same people as in the band, give or take a few. But Ian really wanted that. Like when we formed the live band, he got a few people just to play just on the album, just because he wanted them both to be on stage and on the album. So.
And how did you choose them?
Well, in the beginning I talked to Ian about it a lot, and he came up with, like, of course, the Stream of Passion guys, you know. And the funny thing is that we know each other for so long because we're in the same scene, but we never worked together. So Johan and Marcella from Stream of Passion, we asked them in the band, and luckily they said yes. We gathered such a good group for this. And Ferry, my guitar player from my band, I took him with me. And then we have Ed Warby on drums, and he is, of course, you know, the best metal drummer we have in Holland. It's easy, and he plays a lot on the Aryan album. So we got him, and we got Joost van den Broek. He's ex After Forever. He's a very well-known producer as well these days. We got him on keys, and he didn't play live for a long time. So he was really like happy to be on stage again, and so that's cool, because together, like, and then we have Morow on guitar, and she is exceptionally good and great on stage, and it's such a pleasure to have her. So we have like this super cool constellation of people, like randomly handpicked from the Dutch metal scene, and yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, of course. Because you know what? Although Arjen doesn't like touring at all, when he is on stage, he has very big charisma and he's like really good. And people love seeing him on stage. I did an acoustic tour with him. It lasted about 2 weeks. We did 2 weeks in Europe. And he was really happy on stage. Like, he loved seeing everybody. And so that was such a blast. But he's like, yeah, as you know, everybody knows, he's a bit of a hermit. So he doesn't go out much, and he doesn't like playing because of the amount of stress and the random shit that goes on in touring. And he has a bad back and he can't travel really well. So it's like a long list of things why he doesn't tour. But I made him do 2 weeks with me, so that was super fun. But I knew from the start that he wouldn't go on a big ass all year tour with me. So, but we do miss him, and the audience misses him too, because people love him so much. But we manage without him just fine anyway. So that makes me happy, because I didn't know when I started this tour to take the Gentle Storm on the road, I didn't know if people would say, okay, if Arjen's not there, then whatever, never mind. But actually it's going really well, so we're all happy, and Arjen is happy at home, and we are happy on stage, so that's great. But we managed quite well. We put the emphasis, like you said, on the Gentle Storm, on the Storm album, and then I add just like the more heavy stuff that I have in my, in my collection. But that means that I play some gathering songs, and we play Devin Townsend song, we play some Arjen classics, we play a solo song of my solo albums. So I kind of picked the more up-tempo, intense kind of songs for this set, because to be honest, this is the most like heavy set that I'm playing since leaving the gathering. So for me it's like really, I really love to do this.
Again, I watched the street.
Well, in 2014 I did a lot of different things, like the Sirens, like Lorraineville, my solo albums. I did lots, and on Devin's album, I sang on Devin's latest album, and that was super fun. But when I was working on Gentle Storm, I knew like this can be a lot of work creating it and also live. Let's just focus on that. So 2015 is really actually all about Gentle Storm, and I am working on new things for 2016, but that's just still behind the scenes. So I'm really focusing on playing live and making this as good as possible. And in 2016 we will play as well, still with the Gentle Storm, and I'm going to release something else then as well.
And concerning the tour planning for the Gentle Storm, after this tour you plan some festivals? Or?
Yes, we have some festivals in Europe, and we have some tours lining up. We are touring with Delane as well after the summer, I think, and we are working for another tour, and we hope to go to South America. So all of 2015 is